Okay, here's another great, this is a prediction an evolutionists made. So here's another one we can see if it came true. This guy was a famous evolutionist. His name was J.B.S. Haldane. In 1949, he said that evolution could never produce various mechanisms such as the wheel and magnet, which would be useless till fairly perfect. At that time, the cell was still pretty much a black box, but he made this prediction, and if evolution is true, that's a reasonable prediction. Well, we know that that's been refuted, but this next slide, the wheel and magnet, gears, and then if you look at this next slide, look what they found in a jumping, it's like a jumping insect, plant hopping insect, functioning mechanical gears. Now, I wonder what Haldane would say if he saw that. Now, he'd still bow to evolution. He'd come up with some, maybe he'd do what Francis Crick does and says, well, aliens planted that here. I always like this one. This is something that Bob Inyard had put on his website. This one is, I think, is powerful. It's the trochlea of the eyeball. Look at this here. How is mistakes in the DNA and natural selection going to do this? Through a sling. Do you really, the faith an evolutionists must have to believe that this can happen by mistakes in the DNA and natural selection, a blind natural selection. You know what's even more interesting, what makes this even more difficult? How many eyes do we have? This has to happen on the other side of the head. I mean, it's remarkable. And we're not even talking about how incredibly complex the eye is and how it transfers information to the brain, etc. Romans 1:18-20, the creationists, one of their favorite verses, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, like the trochlea that we just saw, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. So on Judgment Day, they won't be able to say, well, there is 97% chimp-human similarity. First of all, that was always wrong. But they won't have any reason. The evidence is overwhelming. You have to, we didn't see who built this building, but we can tell, we have intelligence, we have common sense, we know that this was done by design, that somebody designed this, some people. This wasn't put together by a tornado through a junkyard. So to believe that things like the trochlea happened by chance over time, by mistakes, they'll be without excuse.